Martell Holt. And before you say you've heard it all, hold up. What we're about to unpack will have you laughing, shaking your head, and side-eyeing your screen at the same time. And here's the twist, teats. Not just Martell. This drama connects Melody Shari, Arione Curry, Marsa and Letitia Scott, Maurice and Kimmy Scott, and even Carlos King. By the end, you'll see love and marriage, Huntsville, in a whole new light. Here's the truth, Martell. Holt loves control more than he loves commitment. Back in his marriage with Melody, the red flags were everywhere. He loved the image of a picture-perfect family, but didn't value the woman who helped build it. That's why fans joke that Martell can commit to a tight suit or briefs so snug they cut off his circulation, but he can't commit to a woman in the way that truly matters. And right now, the only real commitment Martell has is keeping Arione Curry close. Why? Because she's safe. She laughs at his dry jokes, nods through his nonsense, and never challenges him. That's the only type of relationship Martell knows how to handle. Martell's dynamic with Arione is like a crash course in manipulation 101. He only entertains women he can control. Melody wasn't having itchy, was a wife, a businesswoman, a mother, and she called him out when he was wrong. He couldn't handle that. But Arione plays her part perfectly. She nods, agrees, and even co-signs his most ridiculous statements. And notice this: Martell has never given her the respect of a real title. It's always my girl or the mother of my child. Never my woman, my fiancé, my wife. Why? Because deep down Martell knows what we all know. If he fully claimed her, it would confirm every bad thing said about him. His brand would crumble. So instead, he keeps her dangling close enough to feed his ego, but never close enough for true recognition. Here's the kicker: Martell still sees Melody as his wife, even though she divorced him, even though she's thriving without him, even though she's building an empire brick by brick. He cannot let go. That's why he stays in her face, antagonizes her, and stalks her moves. And Arione knows it. That's why she lashes out, not because of anything Melody did to her, but because deep down she knows Martell will never stop comparing the two of them. Behind closed doors, you just know Martell makes those comparisons out loud. Melody cooked better. Melody ran business better. Melody was a better mom. That's who he is. Man who pits women against each other too. Avoid facing his own failures. And that's why Martell will never marry Arione. His ego won't allow it. His obsession with his image won't allow it. And his lingering attachment to Melody definitely won't allow it. So he'll keep Arione around as a flunky, but he'll never crown her. And in the meantime, Melody is out here thriving. While Martell clings to chaos, Melody keeps stacking wins. Businesses booming. Music dropping. Fashion and beauty deals rolling in. She's proof that betrayal doesn't break you, it builds you. That's why fans love her. She turned pain into power, and she shines brighter than ever. Compare that to the others. Marsa is still stirring the pot while Letitia fades into the background. Maurice talks big business, but hasn't built a brand like Melody. Kimmy stays respected as the voice of reason, but Melody is the one truly leveling up. And Carlos King. Fans drag him nonstop for protecting Martell while ignoring the fact that Melody is the one actually carrying the show. And here's the messy truth: every time Melody steps back, ratings drop. Every time she pops up, even for a cameo, engagement skyrockets. Fans aren't tuning in for the show, they're tuning in for her. The problem for OWN and Carlos is simple. Melody doesn't need love and marriage, Huntsville, anymore. She's bigger than Huntsville. She's building businesses and moving in beauty, fashion, and music circles that go far beyond reality TV. Which means, for once, the power isn't in the producer's hands, it's in Melody's. If she returns full-time, everyone else will have to level up. If she stays distant, the rest of the cast will scramble to fill a void they probably can't handle. Either way, Melody wins. Fans are already debating what her return might look like. Will she reclaim her spot front and center, or keep dipping in just enough to remind everyone who the real star is? Whatever she chooses, one thing is clear: Melody isn't fighting for the show anymore. The show is fighting for her. That S, the ultimate twist. Martell can play dress up in his tight suits all he wants, but Melody is the heartbeat. She's the storyline. And Martell will forever be the man who fumbled the bag, the brand, and the best thing he ever had. Martell Holt's downfall isn't just about failed relationships. It's about a man who never learned accountability. He blames producers, blames social media, blames Melody, even blames Arione when the heat gets too hot. But never once does he look in the mirror. That's why fans have stopped seeing him as the leading man and started seeing him as the cautionary tale. Every scandal, every outburst, every desperate stunt just reinforces the same truth. Martell is addicted to attention, even if it comes at the cost of his dignity. Meanwhile, Melody's glow-up proves the exact opposite. She doesn't need the chaos to shine. She built her peace, protected her brand, and found her lane outside the shadow of Martell Holt. And that's why the story of love and marriage, Huntsville, has shifted, because what used to be Martell's playground has now become Melody's stage. The more he spirals, the more she rises. And that's not just irony, that's karma. And here's where it gets even deeper. Martell's pattern has exposed something bigger about the entire cast of Love and Marriage. Huntsville. His inability to evolve has forced everyone else to reveal their true positions. Marsa hides behind jokes and shade because he doesn't want the spotlight on his own mess. Letitia clings to the illusion of a strong marriage, even when cracks show. Morris talks strategy and wealth, but where are the receipts? Kimmy, though respected, often plays peacekeeper in a storm that keeps circling back to Martell. And Carlos King. His loyalty to Martell has cost him credibility with the fans, who are tired of watching him protect a man who refuses to grow while sidelining the woman who actually built the show's foundation. That's the irony. Martell thought he was the centerpiece, but Melody is the magnet. She's the storyline, the ratings boost, the reason fans argue on Twitter and binge-watch clips on YouTube. Without her, the show feels hollow. With her, it comes alive. And Martell knows it. That's why he can't fully let go, why he stays tethered to her even when she's already moved on. Deep down, he realizes that his relevance on and off the show has always been tied to Melody. So as Melody steps into new arenas, the question isn't whether Martell can keep up. The question is whether he'll even matter without her. Because history has already shown us the answer. When Melody shines, Martell fades. And if she chooses to dim her light on Love and Marriage, Huntsville, it won't just be Martell who crumbles, it'll be the entire structure built around him. Melody is the brand, the backbone, and the brilliance. Martell is just the reminder of what happens when ego outruns accountability. And that's the final twist. He didn't just lose his marriage, he lost his legacy. And the more you look at it, the more it becomes clear Martell Holt's story is no longer about love or marriage, it's about survival. But not survival in the way Melody has mastered it, where she turned adversity into elevation. No, Martell's version of survival is clinging to relevance no matter how messy it looks. Every live video, every shady post, every desperate move to stir buzz screams of a man who knows he's slipping out of the spotlight but refuses to accept it. That's why he keeps pulling Arione into the picture. Why he keeps poking at Melody, and why he leans on Carlos King's protection. Because without those crutches, Martell is just another man in Huntsville with nothing to show but broken promises. Meanwhile, Melody keeps proving she's not just surviving. She's become an inspiration, especially for women who've walked through betrayal and heartbreak. Fans see her winning in business, balancing motherhood, and still showing up with grace and confidence. That's what makes her different from Martell and everyone else on the cast. She doesn't just talk about building, she builds. And every brick she lays makes Martell's failure stand out even more at the end of the day. Martell's downfall is the cautionary tale of Love and Marriage, Huntsville, but Melody's rise is the blueprint. He's the example of what happens when ego runs wild. She's the example of what happens when purpose takes over. And as long as the cameras keep rolling, fans will keep watching, but not for Martell's tired antics. They'll be watching for Melody, the star who turned her pain into a platform and left Martell standing in the ruins of the empire she helped build. That's the real legacy of this story, and it's one Martell can never rewrite, no matter how hard he tries. And here's the undeniable truth. Martell Holt will always be remembered, but not in the way he hoped. He wanted to be the builder, the mogul, the man everyone respected. Instead, he became the caution sign flashing in neon. This is what happens when pride, ego, and manipulation take the wheel. His reputation is no longer tied to power moves or business ventures. It's tied to scandal, regret, and missed opportunities. Meanwhile, Melody Shari's name is tied to resilience, growth, and winning against all odds. That contrast is what keeps fans talking. It's not just a storyline. It's a life lesson playing out in real time. The cast around him can feel it too. Marsa, Maurice, Letitia, Kimmy, they know tea. Letitia, Kimmy, they know tea.